hello, assalamu alaikum, good morning, khushamdi, ji ayanu, goeiemorgen.
Pakhairagale, ni hao, chune shumme, washmale, Ohio Gonzaimas, guten Morgen, hola, bonjour, privyet, kaifa hal, hala shama chatore, ahlan wasalan, marhaba, buna, and a very amazing good morning to everyone who's tuned into PTV World and are watching World this morning alongside the very amazing, the very talented Shiza Hashmi and Shazad Khan. Hello Shiza, how are you today? You look very amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. It's just because of this brand Khas who sponsors all these clothes for me.
Wow.
Thank you so much for this.
You just got lucky then.
I did. You look good too as well. I mean, I'm sure the suit has a history.
Yeah, the suit has a history. Well, this is the same suit which I wore on my wedding day too, ladies and gentlemen. And I think for men, life is very easy. And it's because of the fact that I think that I've been wearing the same suit for more than 5 years now.
Oh, great.
And, well, thank God that I finally fit in the same suit too as well. But other than that, you know, life is easier for men because of the fact that we only have to change the shirt and the tie and wear the same suit and nobody will ever find out that we're wearing an old suit.
I actually do envy you for that because for girls you have to have a lot of clothes and you cannot repeat them. I mean, it's sort of an unsaid rule.
Really?
So yeah, I mean, sort of, yes.
So thank you very much, Khas, for sponsoring my colleague's wardrobe too as well. But if you guys want to sponsor mine, I mean, it's up to you. But you know, I think the problem with me is that whenever I go to a designer,
the size issue.
Yeah,
right?
The size issue because I'm a huge man. And it's very hard for me to find out clothes of my size too as well. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, today is a very important day.
Absolutely.
But before we indulge into that, let's take a look at the top stories. And then when you guys will come back, we'll let you know what are we doing today. Good morning.
Good morning. Saudi Arabia announces $3 billion for Pakistan for balance of payments for a period of 1 year. Also agrees to reduce visa fee for Pakistan manpower and invest in petroleum refineries. Joint declaration says Saudi Arabia will also supply oil worth $3 billion on deferred payments.
Exactly. We read it in the newspaper earlier today. And 71st founding day of Azad, Jammu and Kashmir is being celebrated today with national zeal and spirit. Congratulations to the people of AJK.
Pakistan will face Australia today in the first T20 International of 3-match series in Abu Dhabi. PTV Sports will telecast the match live from 9 p.m.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, these were the top stories, and time now to actually tell you what we are doing today. So 24th of October, ladies and gentlemen, is a very important day for, I think, the entire world as well, for Pakistanis, for people in Azad, Jammu and Kashmir, and people in Indian-occupied Kashmir. And today we are observing Kashmir Day, or known as Yom-e Ta'sis.
Yes.
But to give us a brief history about the day, I think, Shiza, you'll do the honors.
Okay, I'll try. So, some of us say that it's the Independence Day for Azad, Jammu and Kashmir. But I think Founding Day, as we already said in the top stories for the hour, is the right word to say. When we say Yom-e Ta'sis, it's not that they actually, all of Kashmir got independent with Pakistan and India. But before that, few years before that, when demarcation was taking place, actually the land of Kashmir was sold to Dogra rulers. Yeah. Before that, Muslims and Afghans were residing inside Kashmir. And a lot of Muslims, since they belonged there, their aspirations were to be a part of Pakistan after independence. Exactly. But unfortunately, for around, I guess 70 lakh by that time, the whole land was sold to Dogra rulers. And of course, on this date in 1947, if I'm not wrong, they actually sort of got independence from that ruling, and only Azad, Jammu and Kashmir. And more than half of their brethren who belong to the occupied Kashmir are still under Indians' occupation forces. And our hearts go out to them, and we pray today that they get to join their brothers from Azad, Jammu and Kashmir and from Pakistan as soon as possible.
Exactly, and Shiza, adding on to that, for this day, we've got 5 objectives only. Oh, yes. And those 5 objectives are very simple and I think are very in line with getting Indian-occupied Kashmir free too as well, because they are our brethren too.
Absolutely.
So, ladies and gentlemen, talking about these 5 objectives, number 1 is that we actually have to tell our youngsters, you know, people who, you know, probably kids, you know, family members, about the sacrifices our forefathers have made in terms of in the line to actually get the Indian-occupied Kashmir freed from the vulturistic acts of, and for all the from all the problems, which they have been facing since for so many years too as well. Then moving on, I think that there's this one more objective that Azad Jammu and Kashmir will actually play a role of a base camp till the time we are actually going to get the Indian occupied Kashmir free too as well. And then, the third objective, ladies and gentlemen, over here is that we actually have to let the world know that the Kashmir issue is still unresolved after all of the UN resolutions which has been passed, and I think the international community needs to come together.
Absolutely.
Then fourth, on number 4, people of Pakistan and the government of Pakistan definitely stand firmly at the back of the Kashmiri brethren too as well, and we are definitely going to support them. And then other than that, to let the people of Indian occupied Kashmir know too as well that we are with them in this time of tyranny, in this time of difficulty, in this time of I just lose all my words because it's so hard to explain that every year I sit over here and talk about this day. And I think that everybody needs to play their role to get them free too as well, because it's their right to self-determination and it's their fundamental right. So I think this is why we are here today. And the best part is that we have not called in politicians, we have not called in people who are Hurriyat leaders, we have not called in anybody else. We have called in our youngsters today over here in the studios. They're going to let us know how they feel about this day especially. And there's this very cute little lady over here who's actually prepared a speech for 2 minutes approximately, and she's actually going to highlight that what is the importance of this day to us, to people in Azad Jammu and Kashmir, and to people in Indian occupied Kashmir as well.
Yeah, and what the great thing about this is that actually the youth knows about the issues that would hold with occupied Kashmir and also Azad Jammu and Kashmir. They know the cause that Pakistanis and the Kashmiris together are fighting to get a free land for our brothers, of course.
Exactly, and that's not how it was. So on 24th October 1947, they got their own independence. They had a state to themselves. But on 27th of October, unfortunately, the Indian forces actually landed in Srinagar, and then they basically produced that fake instrument which actually said, or the accreditation too as well, how we refer to it. And then since then, it has been very difficult for the Kashmiri brethren. So we are here with them. We're always going to be with them till the time that we are going to get the Indian occupied Kashmir free too as well. Let's see how the youngsters feel about it. So on my right-hand side, ladies and gentlemen, I've been joined by a student from City School, and she's none other than Miss Fatima Javed. Hello, Fatima. Assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning to all of you. I'm Fatima Javed and I'm from the City School Mirpur campus, and I feel extremely honored to be on
here. Very nice. Thank you very much for being with us. Alongside Fatima, we have been joined by Sarina, and she's from the same school too as well. Hello, Sarina. Assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Walaikum assalam. My name is Sarina Mahmood and I'm from the City School Mirpur campus, and I'm also very honored to be here.
Thank you very much for that. And I definitely don't want Zoya to give the same speech as well. So alongside Miss Sarina, we've been joined by Zoya Mahmood. Hello, Zoya. Assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Walaikum assalam. I'm feeling great to be here, and I'm also very honored to be in such a great platform.
Thank you very much for that too as well. And last but not the least, we have been joined by our music sir as well. His name is Sir Naveed. Sir Naveed, assalamu alaikum. Thank you for joining us.
Walaikum assalam, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So first things first, I think, Fatima, I'll get started with you. So you've prepared a speech on this day, and you're going to let us know how important this day is to us Pakistanis, people in Azad Jammu and Kashmir, and Indian occupied Kashmir.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning to you all. I am Fatima Javed from the City School Mirpur campus. Imagine living in your home but not feeling safe. Picture mosques that cannot give the call to prayer. Assume getting thrown into jail for eating cow meat or offering your prayer. Think about living in constant fear. Imagine living in captivity. I am certain that most of you cannot visualize such a scenario, even if you tried. But this is how a Kashmiri lives every single day. Today, we have gathered here to express our love and show our support towards our fellow Kashmiris. Kashmir Independence Day is observed with patriotic zeal and zest on 24th October yearly by the Pakistani community, predominantly independent Kashmiris, in order to protest against the unlawful occupation of disputed Kashmir by India. This day, the people of Pakistan reunite with their Kashmiri brothers to condemn the atrocity committed by malicious Indians against blameless Kashmiris. We pay homage to Kashmiri martyrs who lost their lives fighting for Kashmir's freedom. Along with this, mass rallies, symposia, walks for peace, meetings, conventions and speech declamations are also organized in order to censure this brutal act perpetrated by Indians against innocent Kashmiris. It is indeed a matter of disappointment to witness Indians slaughtering Kashmiris who are simply trying to combat for their freedom. They leave behind despairing widows and orphans who have nowhere to head, with no future, only faith for an independent Kashmir. Our songs remind us that Kashmir is a lush green valley that echoes with bird songs. But, alas, Indian brutes are turning it into a bleak landscape, smeared with gunpowder and blood. Kashmir is a part of our homeland, and the Kashmiris are our brothers and sisters. We may be apart by miles, but we are strengthened by religion and culture. Therefore, it is our utmost responsibility to be vocal about the need for a sovereign Kashmir and speak on behalf of our Kashmiri brothers. They ought to be supported persistently, not only by us, but by people worldwide, as Indians are manipulating Kashmiri's human rights as well as freedom of speech. As Martin Luther King Jr. said, and I quote, "Freedom is never voluntarily given by the oppressor. It must be demanded by the oppressed." So, let us raise our voice against this menace because Kashmiri lives matter. I end my speech with a prayer and hope that the sun of justice and freedom would shine on the valley of Kashmir soon. Amen.
Inshallah. Amen. Very nice.
Very beautifully said.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Who wrote this speech?
My elder sister, her name is Asma. She helped me write this speech, and my mother, she has always been on my back, and she always makes me prepare this speech
that's
until
great.
I'm excellent at
And it makes me feel wonderful and amazing about the fact that, you know, our youngsters are actually
feel like that.
so good at critical thinking and then coming up with stuff where they feel that, you know, they need to make a difference. That's great. Absolutely perfect.
Great. But, you know, speeches apart, Serena, how do you feel for the masses of occupied Kashmir or Kashmir in general?
Well, whenever I see on the news that my Kashmiri brothers and sisters are getting killed, a certain wave of anger and guilt washes all over me. Anger because my Kashmiri brothers and sisters are getting killed there, and guilt because I can't be there for them. I can't be there physically for them. I can't console them. I can't do much about it, but I never lose hope because I can still bring this situation into the spotlight by using different social media platforms like Snapchat, WhatsApp, Instagram, and by writing and by speaking about this issue, we can take this.
Yes, there are other ways, of course, like you just said, that on social media, there often people raise their voices and everything, but I feel like you feel very strongly about them. You want to be there in person to help them, right?
It's been more than 70 years since India has occupied Kashmir, and nothing has changed since then.
Yeah.
But I feel like today's youth is capable of bringing a difference in Kashmir and giving them the freedom. They're asking for freedom, nothing more than that. And I feel like by writing articles, blogs, by making blogs and by doing campaigns, by doing protests, and by just maybe making hashtags,
Right.
we can bring this issue
Awareness
into
at least.
bring this issue into the limelight, and we can make a difference in the occupied Kashmir.
So do you do that too as well? You know, do you write, do you blog, or do you write about Kashmiri brethren in difficulty as well?
I don't really write articles or make blogs, but I do obviously post about the Kashmiri people who are being assaulted and abused by the Indian troops.
And I think that's great too as well.
Yeah.
But before we move on to another question, I think what they've done is that these amazing pretty little daughters over here, you know, they've prepared something very special for all of us too as well. So before moving on towards other questions, I think what we need to do is that we need to ask them, what have you prepared for all of us out there as well?
We prepared a song for, it's a very traditional Kashmiri song, and I've prepared a solo Kashmiri song as well, and we want to present that.
So are we going to present the solo one first, or are we going to do
we're going to do the group one
Troop
first.
A one first? Okay, let's do it. Rishabh, can you raise the volume a little bit?
Fine, okay.
Do you mind if we stand?
Yeah.
Nope. I think it's good if you guys keep on sitting.
How do you guys practice? Do you practice with your music teacher?
Yes.
And are you guys the school choir?
Yes.
Yes,
Well,
we
that's
are.
brilliant. That's
Well,
brilliant.
that's great. But you know, before we move on, there's this one simple thing which I've just noticed, and that is that Naveed Saab actually cannot see. Naveed Saab, is that true?
Yes.
You cannot see.
Wow.
So how did you learn playing the piano?
After, sir, blindness.
After
and-
you turned blind?
Yeah, after my blindness.
After you were visually impaired?
तो उसके बाद फिर आपने पियानो बजाना शुरू किया था?
Yes, sir, of course.
बड़ा खूबसूरत पियानो बजाते हैं आप. अल्लाह पाक आपको हमेशा खुश रखे. Very nice,
Thank you.
wonderful. Big round of applause for Naveed Saab too as well.
And you know, just before we were heading out for this, not actually heading out, we started singing this song. Serena mentioned that individually, everyone can, participate or play their part in spreading the awareness about Kashmir issues all over the globe. She mentioned by using your social media for it, because that is the simple tool that everyone has, right? I mean, you don't have to go for protests outside. You don't have to be on TV to do that. You just have to use your phone or your laptop to do that. I mean, to use your ideas to share it with everyone around the globe.
Exactly. I think everybody can play their role, but other than that, Shiza, I think what we need to do is that, since there are too many UN resolutions which has been passed too as well, so what difference do you think that all of these social media campaigns will make anyways? I think what we need to do is that we need to get the global authorities together, they need to sit down and then they need to resolve this issue on the table. because no issues are resolved with probably gunpowders and bombings and shelling and whatnot, and then they were using these different guns which were actually making people visually impaired too as well.
True.
But now what I want to ask is, how do you think that youth can contribute in liberating the Indian occupied Kashmir?
Sir, I would like to answer this
Sure,
question.
go ahead.
What I think is, as a teenager or a young person, statistically, an average teenager spends about 6 to 9 hours on social media, maybe scrolling through posts, going
Do
on
you
social
do that too
media.
as well?
Yes, that is.
okay.
I do
That
that
is
as
true.
That's very nice.
Everybody does that.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
charge guilty here.
Yes. So what I want, or what my idea is the youth can do, is perform jihad. Now,
Right.
jihad is rather a very harsh word in front of the Western media or like Western people in general, because all they know is that jihad is fighting or killing.
Right.
But the Holy Prophet, peace upon him, told us many types of jihad,
Yeah.
which include jihad bil qalam, which is using the power of pen,
Pen,
and using education as like a weapon
Tool, yes.
to like educate people and make them aware of what is actually happening. We can write blog posts, articles, create hashtags, retweet stuff, and make people aware around the world. Now, this is not like the 18th century where we have to wait for months to send a letter. Just a quarter of a second and you can tap on onto your phone screens and your message is gonna go around the world. What we need to do as Pakistanis, as young people or Muslims in general, is to unite, globalize this issue, because the Kashmir issue is very sensitive and nobody actually emphasizes much about it because people are not much educated about the situation. So what we can do is start a campaign, write articles, share our information. If we don't have a large number of followers, we can retweet something about Kashmir, and that can maybe further educate people.
Yeah.
Right, so very beautifully said. I mean, then again, we're talking about individual roles, but just a while ago, Shazad, you mentioned that, United Nations and all other international forums or institutions they must come together to solve this Kashmir issue,
Exactly.
along with other issues like Palestine and Libya and whatnot. But in 2017, actually, United Nations recognized this report in which they recognized the atrocities being committed by the Indian authorities in occupied Kashmir. They realized that they have committed ceasefire violations, so many of them, around 1,900 in last year. And you have no idea, more than around 500 this year alone. And this is what they've noticed, and the world is noticing. So we're really hoping that our brothers from occupied Kashmir really do get their right to self-determination and freedom as soon as possible.
Exactly.
But what do you guys think? I mean, institutions like United Nations or other international institutions, how can they maybe play a better role?
Before you answer, I think that somebody's missing me very bad because I'm just about to
Hiccups?
probably, sneeze.
Oh.
But it's perfectly all right. Please continue, yeah.
All right. So I believe the UN, which is short for United Nations, plays a very major role in this conflict, because we all know that the United Nations is known for solving world conflicts which are related to, for example, denial of human rights,
Right.
or abusing of military power, or unnecessary wars. Now, if we think about this for a moment, the Kashmir conflict lies in all these categories.
Okay.
Then the question is, why isn't the United Nations doing anything about it? It's because we aren't raising our voices. Now, Pakistan,
Yeah, please go ahead.
yes. Now, Pakistan, being the neighboring country of Kashmir, shall raise this issue again and again in a United Nations Assembly. Now, what I have,
country, Kashmir is ours. So,
yes, of course,
Yeah.
it's ours. We already claim it,
Yeah.
and we will always claim it.
Yeah.
All right. So I believe that not only Pakistan but all Islamic Republic countries should raise this issue into a joint voice in United Nations Assembly. Now, what the United Nations can do is that hold a referendum in Kashmir, and I am aware of the fact that a referendum was held before, but it was stopped by Indian forces. Now, United Nations needs to make sure that the referendum is actually held without any sort of opposition, and its
Exactly.
outcomes are implemented on as well. And I believe that what kind of atrocities going on in Kashmir, the United Nations, they should order an immediate ceasefire of military forces in Kashmir.
But they have already, but Indians keep violating that.
Exactly. It is true that they won't listen to United Nations, but the thing is that we need to raise this issue over and over again. We need to repeatedly
Until it's heard.
Yes, until it's heard. And I believe that we need to build a pressure on United Nations. We need to talk about this issue over and over again, so United Nations would finally understand the sensitivity of this topic and how grave this topic actually is. They should realize that this issue shall be talked about.
Well, that's really, that's actually true. And since I'm studying, peace and conflict theories lately, so there's this particular theory, it's called exceptionalism.
Okay.
And it's after neoliberalism, and India actually falls under that. Exceptionalism means whatever India does, they produce nuclear weapons, they occupy Kashmir, all the other things that they do, even inside India, to their own people or to their minorities. It's an exception. Why? Because, they're probably friends with greater powers.
But
anyway,
at the same time, Shiza, I'm so ecstatic of the fact that these young, amazing students from City School know so much about, what's going on. And I think that they have these plans to probably get the Kashmiri brethren out of problems too as well. But then at this point of time, since Zoya actually mentioned that she's actually prepared a solo too as well. So Zoya, are you ready?
And with that, we'll head out to a short break, right?
And after that, we'll head out to a short break. So good morning. We are ready.
कश्मीर में खड़े हैं, ये कैसे मासूम हूँ बहाए, ये किसके कश्मीर में खड़े हैं, है जिनको आज़ादी की तमन्ना, वो जल रहे थे वो जल रहे हैं, जिसने आग जन्नत में है लगाई, वो हाथ खुद भी तो जल रहे हैं। गर की तुम तकदीर लिखो, सबसे पहले कश्मीर लिखो, ये पहली इबारत, कश्मीर को हक दो भारत, ये पहली इबारत, कश्मीर को हक दो भारत। कहाँ गए सब जहान वाले, ये जुल्म कोई रोकता नहीं है, ये कैसा जालिम है देखो जिसको भरा ज़माना टोकता नहीं है। तू हमारी मर्जी पे ना हो काबिज़, हम अपनी मर्जी का साथ देंगे, तू फिज़ाएं आज़ाद कर हमारी, हम अपनी मर्जी से सांस लेंगे। गर की तुम तकदीर लिखो, सबसे पहले कश्मीर लिखो, ये पहली इबारत, कश्मीर को हक दो भारत, ये पहली इबारत, कश्मीर को हक दो भारत, ये पहली इबारत, कश्मीर को हक दो भारत।
Beautiful, beautiful that was. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we've got some more amazing, talented kids over here in the studios. Well, not in the studios, they're at the back of the studio. We're going to get them in, and we'll definitely continue the process of asking them questions that how can we contribute to liberate the Indian occupied Kashmir, and how we can change the lifestyles or the life of the Indian occupied Kashmiri brethren as well. So we're going out for a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to World This Morning, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching PTV World with World This Morning with Shazad and Shazad. And for those...
And Shazad.
Yeah, with Shazad and Shazad. For all those who just joined in, today we are observing across the globe, of course, and especially in Kashmir and Pakistan, the founding day of Azad Jammu and Kashmir. And for that purpose, we have been joined by some amazing, amazing students from Azad Jammu and Kashmir who are actually talking to us about how they can probably play their role in promoting the independence and probably, you know, making everyone aware of all the atrocities that are going on in the occupied Kashmir, in the held Kashmir.
Exactly, which is why, without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to introduce the students from City School Mirpur as well, so that they do not actually have to tell us, because we are left with very short and very little time, so we want to ask them most of the questions which are left. So on my right hand side, I've been joined by Manur Ali. Hello Manur, Assalamu alaikum, how are you?
I'm fine, how about you?
Wa alaikum assalam, thank you very much. Alongside Manur, we have been joined by Mariam Aftab. Hello Mariam, Assalamu alaikum.
I'm good, thank you.
Are you alright?
Yes.
Thank you very much for coming down to Islamabad. And last but not the least, we have been joined by Ma'am Khatija as well. Hello Ma'am, Assalamu alaikum. And Serena staying back as well because she's prepared a poem too as well, which we are going to listen to towards the end of the show. But first things first, I think what I need to ask is that being a student, how can you actually participate in the development of Azad Jammu and Kashmir? I think this one's for you.
Yes. I would like to answer your question. Being a student, I believe that I can participate in the development of Kashmir, but before participating in the development of Kashmir, first I need to educate my own self what development is needed in which areas of Kashmir, and then I could go to those less developed areas of Kashmir and hold several seminars along with my fellow students in which I can tell the people, aware the people what development their area is needed and how they can achieve or do that development. Moreover, we can also collaborate with other schools and ask them to do co-curricular activities such as poster making and essay
arts
writing
competitions.
Yes, in which the students can be asked that what they see as a developed Kashmir, so that they are motivated to work hard to develop Kashmir.
Okay, that's great. But you know, just a while ago, as we always say that Pakistan stands by Kashmir, and we stand by Kashmir in every situation on all the fronts. But being a Kashmiri, what do you guys expect from the government of Pakistan?
So basically, first of all, I would like to correct a rumor around that around the worldwide. It's that the Kashmir in Pakistan is the people are just restricted in their area and they don't have equal rights and they are not allowed to go anywhere. And these are the concepts of the people.
I think that question is answered because you guys are here from Mirpur and you're on national television, so that's great. But please continue.
Yes. So first of all, I would like to answer these people by that we have the ID cards, passport of Pakistan. We can go anywhere and we are here also. And there are many timely and generous developments of Pakistani government in Azad Kashmir. If we take a recent one, in 5 months ago, there was work and conference department meeting in Islamabad in which mega projects of Kashmir were included in annual federal development program. And there is not a single airport in Kashmir basically. So for the international trade of Kashmir, we use the airports of Pakistan, which increase the GTB and GNP of Pakistan for Azad Kashmir. And if we see some projects in the pipeline, for example, CPAC, it's well renowned nowadays around Pakistan and in its neighboring countries. It contains two major power projects for the Kashmir and an expressway which will link Mansehra, Muzaffarabad, Mirpur and all the routes to the CPAC route, and it will create the trading opportunities for the locals. Handicraft industry would be promoted. And also we can go into any college in Pakistan and we can for medical colleges, employment opportunities, job opportunities, anything. And when the CPAC will be completed, the Mirpur will be as an economic and
economic hub.
Economic
and
hub.
Muzaffarabad is a beautiful city as well. I've been there quite a lot of times. I love it over there always. But do you want to add on to the question?
Well, actually, I want to talk about the women's role again.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. I was just noticing, I mean, there are some amazing students in our studio today, but not one of them is a guy. All of you are girls, which is great, right?
Yeah.
So how do you think women especially can play their role?
Like, to be honest, I think women are neglected in many ways because they are weaponized and sent to the line of control. So maybe they are neglected in many ways, but I believe like women play an important role in a way, like they support the men emotionally and morally, that they encourage their husbands, sons to go and fight for the country or fight for the nation. And the fact that in 1981, in Asiya Andrabi started the idea of like giving women the rights. And after that, nowadays, Mashal Malik is a very well-known person that actually speaks up for Jammu and Kashmir.
She's not even allowed to go see her husband too as well.
Exactly. So women are neglected in many ways, but they do speak up, and feminism is taking a part in Pakistan nowadays, especially it's the idea of Westernism. But in even Islam, it's very well-known. So I believe that women play an important role in everything that a man
They do, and you played a very important role on a very important day too as well. So thank you very much for being with us. It was lovely to be in conversation with you guys. But towards the end, as we promised Serena that, you know, we're actually going to give her space to share her poem with all of us. So Serena, go ahead. It's your turn.
Valleys are dull, valleys are bright. Kashmir Valley is about which I write. Lovely mountains and rivers come to sight whenever I sit to write. Gone are the days of splendid beauty, which made Kashmir a place to be. Now the beauty has been gunned down by the gunpowder whose color is brown. Bloodshed and pain is everywhere. Sadly enough, it'll lead us nowhere. So let us all awake and put the guns to rest and try to do our heavenliness. Let us all make a difference, or our Kashmir will only become a reference.
Wow, that was great. And did you write it yourself, or you prepped it and learned it and then?
No, I actually prepped it from the internet, and
Wow.
he's a very nice writer. His name is Ibrahim, and I think so. This poem really matched my emotions.
Wow.
Okay.
It matches our emotions too as well. But thank you very much for being over here, for all those amazing
So proud to have
parents
all of you.
who actually allowed all of them to come down over here. City School, Mirpur, you've done a great job. You know, music sir, Naveed Saab sir, thank you very much. He's still in the studio too as well, for coming down as well. Thank you very much. Stay blessed, and inshallah, one day we'll witness that all of Kashmir will be free and we'll sit down over here, enjoy the same way as well.
And don't give up on your aspirations.
Exactly, that's what it is. For all those people who are out there, you can definitely write to us on our Facebook fan page, which is with the name of
Well This Morning.
On Twitter.
Well This Morning without a G.
On Daily Motion
Well
and
This
YouTube.
Morning, Well This Morning.
The fabulous repeat is going to be at
11:05 in the night.
till the next time, 1, 2, 3.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.